Little Match Girl. Once upon a time, in a city filled with swirling snowflakes and twinkling lights, lived a young girl named Elin. While everyone else was rushing home to their warm fireplaces and yummy dinners, Elin stood on the corner with a small bundle of matchboxes. She wore a tattered shawl and had no shoes, but her heart was full of hope. Matches. "Please, would you like some matches?" she called out softly, her voice dancing in the cold wind. The city was very busy. A tall man named Mr. Thorne marched past, wrapped in a heavy wool coat and a long striped scarf. He was in such a hurry to get to his grand house that he didn't even notice Elin. Elin held out a box of matches, her fingers shivering. "Sir, would you like to buy a light?" she asked. But Mr. Thorne just kept walking, his boots making a loud crunch-crunch sound in the deep snow. As the sun went down, the air turned even colder. Ellen found a small, quiet nook between two big brick houses. She sat down and tucked her feet under her thin dress to stay warm. She looked at her matches. She hadn't sold a single one all day. "Just one little match," she whispered to herself. "Just one to keep the frost away from my fingers." Ellen took a match and struck it against the wall. Scritch! Suddenly, a bright golden flame burst into life. As she held her hands over the light, something magical happened. In the glow of the flame, she saw a magnificent iron stove with polished brass handles. It felt so warm and cozy, like a giant hug. Ellen reached out to touch the warmth, feeling the heat toast her chilly toes. But then, the match flickered and went out. The stove vanished, leaving only the cold brick wall. Elin quickly struck a second match. Scritch! This time, the light turned the wall into a window. Behind it, she saw a long table covered with a white cloth and sparkling dishes. There was a roasted turkey stuffed with apples, and it smelled delicious. Elin's eyes grew wide as she watched the steam rise from the feast. The second match burned out, and the feast disappeared. Elin struck a third match. Scritch! In this glow, she saw the most beautiful Christmas tree she had ever imagined. It was taller than the houses, and covered in thousands of tiny, twinkling candles that looked like stars. Elin reached up toward the branches, her face lit with a huge, joyful smile. The tree was so bright, it made the whole alleyway look like a palace of light. As the candles on the tree rose higher and higher into the sky, they turned into shimmering stars. One star fell, leaving a long trail of golden dust. "Someone is going to heaven," Elin whispered, remembering what her grandmother Greta used to tell her. Suddenly, in the center of the golden glow, Greta appeared. She looked just as kind and sweet as Elin remembered, with a soft smile and a warm, glowing aura. "Oh, grandmother," Elin cried, striking all the rest of her matches at once to keep Greta there. The light became brighter than the midday sun. Greta reached out her arms and pulled Elin into a big, soft embrace. Elin felt warmer than she ever had before. "Don't leave me," Elin begged. Greta whispered, I will never leave you, little one. The light of love is always with you. The bright light from Ellen's matches was so strong that it caught the eye of Mrs. Pippin, the local baker, who was just closing her shop. Mrs. Pippin followed the golden glow into the alley. She found Ellen wrapped in a magical shimmer, looking peaceful and happy. "Oh, you poor dear child," Mrs. Pippin exclaimed. She saw the empty matchboxes and the girl's cold hands and knew she had to help. Mrs. Pippin scooped Ellen up and carried her into the warm bakery. She gave her a soft blanket and a mug of hot cocoa with extra marshmallows. From that night on, Ellen never had to sell matches in the cold again. She lived with Mrs. Pippin, helping her bake sweet bread and cookies. Ellen knew that the magic of the matches had led her to a real home, and she always remembered the warm glow of her grandmother's love.